That's an introduction. Wow. It's almost like that came out of a project manual.
That's weird, right? Yeah.
It is. It came out of a project manual. That is specialty speeches. Introducing someone. I'll be doing Jeremy's evaluation later. When Jeremy said he wanted to do a special introduction for me for my first speech, I figured it would be heartfelt, and it was true. But there's a lot to articulators that makes us different, that makes us a unique club. And in the year that I was in Fort Lauderdale, I learned some things. I realized some things, not just about articulators, but about the culture of Toastmasters clubs, the culture of groups, and what separates one group from another, and how to incorporate that into what you're trying to become. So within every organization, within every group, there are certain stories you tell and certain artifacts you hold as representing who you are. Now let's start with the stories you tell. Jeremy tells a couple great stories about me when I first came, that when I first went through the evaluation contest, I had no idea what I was doing. Someone said, be here at this time and evaluate a speech. I said, okay, I'll do that. And I just happened to win. I didn't know what I was doing. But it felt great to be able to represent the club in a way that made us have a different sense of who we were. We gained a sense of pride. And other clubs looked to us and say, wow, there really is something else. And the story started to take root and started to spread. That the Articulators was a club that you can go to, you can actually win some contests. Well, there's only one club in Central Florida right now that is now the home club for two defending division champions for the International Speech Contest. That is, there are two people in this club that made it to the final stage of their division. So they competed at the district level last year and both earned trophies. Jeremy represented this club, made it all the way to the district finals, came in second out of 200 and some clubs. Fantastic job. I came in third in South Florida in District 47. So for all those clubs that are out there that say, we promote leaders and we help you become a champion, the story now is that Articulators has two. Everyone else has zero. Advantage Articulators. Check. Now, what Jeremy doesn't tell you is I haven't always been a great loser of contests. I lost to Tony Giddles in an evaluation contest the following year. They handed me the trophy, I smiled. I walked out the door, opened the trash can, threw it in, and walked away. I wish that was a joke. It is not a joke. So I haven't always been the best of losers. And it didn't really hit me until this past year to what that actually does to the people around you. So I was in South Florida competing. I was in Fort Lauderdale, and I represented a club called Early Bird Toastmasters out of Fort Lauderdale. Made it to the district finals. I came in third. The guy that came in second was really good. He was really good. And when he came in second, he was really mad. Amazingly mad for coming in second place in the district. Now I saw Jeremy's video, and you would have thought someone just handed him $1 million when he came in second place. It was one of the crowning achievements of his Toastmasters career. This guy had been in Toastmasters for 7 months, and when they announced second, the pictures of the three of us that won trophies that day are one guy, the second guy, and me. I'm gonna be happy because I was happy I came in third.
Yeah.
So those are some of the stories that you start to carry as you move throughout your Toastmasters life. We have stories in this club that are very different from the stories that you might hear in other clubs. We had a gentleman here named Denny Ward. And Denny was sick for a very long time. He's still sick. He's still with us, but he's not a member anymore. He wheeled his wheelchair in every week with his wife, sat in the back, and they gave you the warmest welcome you could ever possibly hope to have. And it set the tone for who we were. And the story of Denny permeated all of us and impacted all of us every single week. Became part of our story. Well, Denny also became part of the artifact. Because we arranged the room in a certain way, we met in a certain place, we did things in a certain way to accommodate somebody that meant so much to us. And that's where artifacts come in. Artifacts are those visible reminders of who you are as a club, why you do certain things, and where you're going. We moved out of here once, largely because the restaurant closed and went out of business. We moved down to Mimi's, and then we had to leave there because the restaurant closed and went out of business. See a trend, right? These guys were reluctant to let us come back because we have this trend of people going out of business. But we also kept them afloat for the first few months because look here, and then look there. Look back here, and look back there. Which one is not like the other? This room has become an artifact for who we are. We are a warm and inviting club. We are not a club that you would expect would have 2 division champions coming out of it. Those would be the clubs that are hyper-competitive. Winter Park Toastmasters, the facilitators, the orators. Those are clubs that are ultra-competitive. They want that. That's who they are. We just want people to get better. We want somebody to walk in here to be afraid to speak when they first walk in. We don't want them to be afraid to speak. But if you're afraid to speak, we want you to be able to come here, feel the warmth of the room, get up in front, deliver a speech, and realize we're going to be completely accepting of wherever you are in your journey throughout your career. This room helps us do that. We have other artifacts here that are very different from other clubs. We ding when people say or thank you. Almost on key. Not every club does that. Not every club wants to help you improve. They don't want to be called out for their mistakes. For us, it's a growth pattern. Every set of people has stories and artifacts. Ours just happen to be better than some. So I encourage you, as you are visiting clubs, as you're going through life, figure out what stories define you, what artifacts tell your story, and then bring those to life and share them to help everyone around you just become a little bit better today. Thank you, Jack.